So look, I think that we're actually in the process of releasing in the first quarter of next year our staffing plans across the federal government. What I will say is that it should be somebody who shares my fundamental skepticism of bureaucracy in the federal government and of unconstitutional rulemaking. That will likely be someone coming from outside of government, someone who has come from a regulated industry and understands the unintended costs of regulation. I think many of the people who work at the SEC are good people, but don't understand what the unintended consequences are for American innovation. And people who have been on the other side of that do. So I think it will likely be for somebody, when it comes to the FDA or the SEC or otherwise, let's talk about the SEC, someone who's been on the receiving end of those regulations, who understands the importance of making sure that we're protecting Americans against theft or defrauding. And yes, understand that those are laws on the books that exist for a reason, but also understand what the unintended consequences of regulatory overreach are, how that shackles American innovation. That would be the kind of candidate who would be a good chief commissioner of the SEC. And also, quite importantly, somebody who is willing to effectuate large-scale headcount reductions and large-scale rescinding of regulations, and who's willing to understand that if I, as the U.S. president, swear an oath to the Constitution, and the Supreme Court agrees with me that many of those regulations are unconstitutional, will be willing to follow my mandate to make sure we're not enforcing those unconstitutional federal regulations starting on day one.